Hello, I'm Charlene of the Rainbow Frequency, and thank you for joining me on this live. I am here to raise vibrations and help empower you to be your best self as you are designed. You're an eternal soul, here to experience and learn and grow. If you're watching this live, currently we are in the midst of the Lionsgate portal. Depending on where you are in the world, we're in a new moon in Leo. Things are certainly heating up. I sense the beginning of the Lionsgate portal, which started this year in 2024 on July 26th, thereabouts. And I personally have been feeling a lot of heat. Internally, I have been feeling like I've been having an ongoing hot flash. I'm perimenopausal, so it's not the ebb and flow of a hot flash that I'm used to. I've just felt warmer since July 26th, and today it's the 4th. We have the quote-unquote official Lionsgate portal day on 8/8. However, these things are a window in time, so it will last till about the 12th of August. So, and then in the new moon, yes, the new moon is somewhere around the 4th, depending on where you live. However, again, these periods aren't a one and done day event. It's a period of time, a window where this energy is present. When we have Sirius, known as our spiritual sun, coming in to alignment with Orion and us here on this planet, their various locations, the pyramids in Egypt are in alignment with this moment. There are many places around the globe that throughout history have erected monuments or markers that align with Orion. For the nomadic peoples, it helped mark the time so they knew when it was appropriate to move on. Many different ways that people would utilize this relationship and the information that can be gleaned from being attuned to it. We know now that we have in our DNA this star material, which to me really illustrates why it is that we as human beings have been so closely tied to the stars, using them for navigation. Astrology is a way to mark the passage of time and pay attention to what's going on in the cosmos, as above, so below, so that then we know the energy and influences at play, so then we can best navigate our experience to learn the lessons, have the initiation points, awaken to ourselves fully, and remember who we are. To me, looking at your astrological chart is a way to get to know yourself, clear out some limiting self-beliefs, and really see the cosmic divine design blueprint and learn to work with it, clearing out some of the baggage, if you will. I know for myself, when I've been into astrology since I was a little girl. I was born in 77, and people scoffed at this throughout my life. But as I really got past my sun sign as being the focus and looked more into the other placements, I realized, one, there's nothing wrong with me. Sure, I might have ADHD and I might have certain behaviors, but in the big picture, they all come together so that I can be a highly sensitive person who observes things on many levels and can feel, sense, perceive, process multiple forms of information at once, so that I can put it together to navigate circumstances, situations, and people. I mean, as an empath, I had to learn to get past the discomfort of feeling someone else's feelings, not take ownership of them, and process them so that I can meet them where they are to best handle the situation with love. Now that I have some people on here, I don't see the way for you to chime in. Let me see if I can open up. Nope, sorry, technical difficulties. I was trying to see if I could have you pop in to ask for a card or what have you, but since I don't see the chat box, we're just going to keep going. I have put up previously on my channel a new moon reading with some energy art, so check that out, because that will go into really a lot more of the flavor of this new moon in Leo. We have a lot of stuff going on. Mercury's going retrograde, so we're in the shadow period of that, which it starts tomorrow. Retrogrades are wonderful periods to dive into all the RE words: reflect, revise, rework, renegotiate, those kind of things. So chakra-wise, where are we? All right. This is something that has been a conversation piece for quite a while. Workaholic. Throat chakra is what is associated with blue. Our throat chakra is associated with our communication, our truth. It's the first of the etheric chakras, meaning like from your heart down. This is sort of the in-between vortex space as a bridge between the upper chakras and the lower chakras. Sidebar, many different belief systems have different numbers of how many chakras we have. Some have it very simple with just a few. Some have a very complex system with like 144, or I'm sure there's so many different representations of this information. That being said, your heart is that centermost point in your energy center that helps bridge the gap between your higher consciousness and your physical body. So from your heart down, like if you're going with the classic, what typically is known the 7 chakra system, your solar plexus is your self-confidence, your soul self, but again, like represented here on earth. Your sacral chakra is your creativity, your passion, how you nurture yourself and others, your sexuality. Your root chakra is your sense of security in yourself. For me, I go down to the knees. Your knees is a chakra beyond what they talk about in the 7 chakra system. Your knees connect you to the surface of the earth. So where you are on the earth physically, but that, again, that connection point between you and the surface of the earth, then your feet are the chakra that I associate going all the way down to the heart center of the earth. And then I will envision that connection being this beautiful, symbiotic, loving connection, an umbilical cord, if you will. I'll envision, I don't know what to call it, but an oil well, an oil pump, and it's that connection point that brings that abundance that the earth wants to support us with up to us. You know, a lot of times with people that I work with, when we're facing trauma, when we're uncomfortable, we'll go into that fetal position. You know, go with me in a metaphor. You're not literally curling up in life in a ball, but at the same time, energetically you are. So a lot of times when you're facing stress on the earthly material plane, we disconnect from the earth, which is not what we need to be doing, because it's not the earth's fault, not at all. We just don't like what's going on around us. So the best thing to do in those situations, I'm sure you've heard this, is to ground. Not disconnect from the ground, but to ground. So that is why they talk about walking with your feet on the earth. That is why they talk about spending time in nature. You know, eating is another way to ground, especially when you eat root vegetables. Root vegetables and Asian healthcare and way of thinking is root vegetables. I can speak. Root vegetables help us rebuild our chi, our life force. And there are not many things that we can eat that do that. So workaholic, going back to where we started with this card, as a hairstylist for many years before I fully acknowledged and embraced what I was doing beyond hair, when I acknowledged the fact that I was channeling, that I had psychic gifts, the number one conversation I would have with people was, what are you doing killing yourself in a job that is sucking you dry and not giving you what you're looking for? Now, that being said, you know, we need, as humans, to walk the middle path. It would be lovely if I could be on my spiritual path, doing what I love from the heart, and not worry whatsoever about paying my bills. I would love that. I would really love that. I personally am with a lot of you who find the material plane exhausting, annoying, like why the heck we need 19 things to make it so that we can operate a vehicle on the road. All these hoops we have to jump through. It's very annoying. It's very burdensome, distracting. Again, like I find it very irritating that I have to, just to drive a car, have all this rigmarole just to move, you know. So that I get it, but at the same time, like I also understand why it is that we had to create systems so that things would run smoothly, pun intended. Now, that being said, we have gone over the bend out of the desire to survive and become, around the world in many places, workaholics. Step out of this word into a big picture. Because of our fear and need to survive, we have started to associate our worth with our productivity and how much we make. in 2020 when I couldn't be a hairstylist for a period of time because it was deemed dangerous and we were trying to figure things out. That really hit me hard, as I really had been in that I am how much I'm making. If I can't provide for my family the way that I have been, then I felt worthless. You know, I couldn't do the work that I had been so immersed in. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, then what am I? What do I do? And it's just, again, yes, I might do X, Y, or Z. But beyond that, my value is in me. There's a little rhyme for you. And all work and no play makes Jill a dull girl. Change the name, change the pronouns. It's just, it is the case. Like, that's why in this card you see them creating art, because it's just, it's not all about work. It's about enjoyment. It's about the experience. It's about the process. I personally am still facing the workaholic mode, because now that I'm in a job that I absolutely love, engaging with people in any way I can in the world, and you know, energy is everything, so there's no bounds. I could be engaging 24/7, and part of me would love to, but then I recognize that just because my job is something that I absolutely love, I still have to dial myself back. I have to step out. I have to take time to relax, have fun, engage with other people, and not even think about work, which is hard because my work is who I am in some parts. But again, even still, I still have to balance it all out. Another chakra card for us. We got Discovery. Red is associated with the root chakra. To really be secure and grounded in yourself, you really have to take time to go within and connect with yourself on a heart and soul level. It isn't purely about who you are outwardly in the world that defines you, right? You're an eternal soul here in a physical body, having an experience to grow through. So that is saying, spend time in nature. See yourself also as being a divine element within nature. Connect mind, body, and spirit. Again, a lot of us have been caught up in survival mode. We've gone away from our original deep connection with the cosmos and nature and seeing how we connected within it, and compartmentalized and disassociated perhaps from spirituality or different aspects of ourselves that we need to rekindle and reconnect with. Those are the Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards. I don't have the box anymore, but moving on to the Moonology Oracle cards. What does the new moon have to say to us today? Again, I have done a new moon reading, but let's just flow together to see what else wants to come out. Oh, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. And I actually almost used an image for this reading, for the thumbnail, that was similar to this in a way, but I didn't. So that if you look closely, there's a bit of a spider web in here. I had a picture of a spider web with the sun illuminating it and sparking a rainbow through it. Don't let your past hold you back. Take the lessons and move on. Take the wisdom that you gained from the lessons and move on. Now, in astrology, your south node is where you've been, what you've come into this life, what you've come into this life with, like what skills, what gifts, what past life experiences you've had. And in this life, you are to take what you've experienced, learned, and honed previously, and then your north node is where you're headed. So then those are the skills and the way that you would like to expand yourself in this lifetime. So that's where, for some, they'll view this as two dragons. But you want to not overly rely on the gifts and experiences that you've had. That, yes, that is in your toolkit. Should you need it, it's there. However, you're learning to move into that north node self and further develop yourself and integrate the south node and the north node together so that you're a more expansive person who can face challenges perhaps in some better ways this lifetime, or in ways that help you further yourself along that didn't happen the last go round. That's one way to look at it. For example, my south node is in Aries. Aries is a wonderful sign. They're pioneers. They're very determined. They're very ambitious. They're not afraid to meet conflict head on. Yep, very much a part of me. However, my north node is in Libra. So Libra is a sign about balance, love, harmony, the beauty way. So it's learning how to take that very ambitious, driven, pioneering part of myself who isn't afraid of conflict, but is here to learn how, instead of headbutting it to the ground, to love my way through it. There are many, many, many aspects within your chart that, to me, are very profound bits of information that, when you put it all together, is cathartic. Going back to when I started doing my own chart, I realized I had relationships that I'd been struggling through that were simply life lessons that we were both imparting to one another. So it wasn't as personal as I had been caught up in feeling. It was just something that we had to go through together, and looking at it after the fact, I'd done it very well. So it released me from the attachment of feeling guilty that I had to release that person from my sphere. Another card from the moon, waning moon. What do you need to release? Interesting. Because full moons are more about releasing, whereas new moons are about setting intentions. I really love Jenny Florence. She's on YouTube as well. For the life of me, I can't remember her YouTube channel. Anyway, Jenny Florence, amazing individual. She likes, in the new moon, to encourage people to do new moon wishes alongside their new moon intentions. So the intention of what to do with the wish once you have it granted. I love that mentality. But also, she was actually speaking to this in her readings. So again, this is energy that is prevalent. in this new moon, it's about further releasing from you some of that frustration, some of that resentment, some of whatever it is that's been holding you back from being able to move forward in your manifestation, in your journey. Someone I'm working with, Susanna, she was speaking of this moving forward and our evolution as we're being birthed right now. We're being squeezed. We're being put through a little bit of discomfort to get some of that crap out of us so that we can rise up above it and out of it into a new experience. Some people might call this a new earth, but it's a new consciousness, in my opinion, a new era in our evolution. So what is it that you need to release? You know, I personally, like I said, I've been feeling hot since the 26th of July. I, in my own life, am facing things from the past that are resurfacing for me to witness, further work through forgiveness. And for me, I really love the mentality of, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love that. However, I also have found on my journey that sometimes you have to say, I love you, I forgive you where you are right now on your journey. Please forgive me. Let's move on. That could be applied in the please forgive me for my frustration that I've expressed. Let's move on together in our healing journeys and move past that hiccup. It can also mean, I love you, let's move on, meaning let's separate and release each other from this. Perhaps we'll come back together down the road when we've done what we need to, but at the moment, let's move on from engaging in unhealthy ways. All right. All right. From our shadow self, and we're going to use the Awake Inner Wisdom cards. So from our shadow self, what is it that we are healing and integrating in this process right now? In my reading that I was speaking about for the new moon, one bit of it that's coming up to be addressed right now is that I talk about how at the moment we're having things bubble up to the surface to be witnessed, observed, processed, perhaps let go of or transmuted. Some of this is karmic lessons, debt, contracts, vows that we're reflecting on, revisiting, renegotiating, releasing. Some of this is our own belief systems, our own ways that we're limiting ourselves, coming up from our subconscious to our conscious. Many, many ways throughout our mind, body, and spirit that we're clearing so that we can, if we're willing to do that uncomfortable work, to elevate. Oh my gosh. And this is why I love going to many different decks and pulling release and accept. I mean, seriously. Hold on. I mean, oh my God. Backwards. Okay. Don't let the past hold you back. What do you need to release? It doesn't get clearer than that. Release and accept. Release and then accept the fact that you released it. So don't keep holding on to it. And then accept what comes in to replace it. And instead of feeling like a victim or threatened, like everything's against you, try to change it to, how is the universe wanting to work with me today? Brilliance. I love that as well, which is something that like I was speaking with a client yesterday. Like, I have felt hot. I felt very frustrated, agitated lately. Again, like, I've had things resurface in my life where I've had to process a myriad of emotions, and some of it is annoyance, some of it's sadness, some of it's anger, frustration, all sorts of things, grief. And then instead of shutting it down and being upset with myself that I'm feeling it, I have to witness it, observe it with love, process why it is I'm feeling that way, and then work to either transmute it, release it as needed. And it makes me laugh because, here I have this tattoo. When I was very young, I got this tattoo. I got this tattoo. And at the time, I knew it was reflective of my higher consciousness, and that she was holding the pearl of wisdom, and that there was a lotus, but I didn't know the spiritual context that I was connecting with from my subconscious and bringing it to my material plane through my body. And the pearl of wisdom, you don't get a pearl without a certain amount of agitation, friction. You just don't. Now, I do know firmly that we are evolving to where we won't, in the future, however far ahead that is, we won't need to learn in this way. We're evolving past the need to struggle and suffer to get there. As the saints started marching in on my spiritual journey, I was very saddened by the fact that they had to suffer so much to then have us deem them as venerated. And it annoyed me. I'm like, no, I love these amazing individuals, and I mean, just the fact that they endured people not believing in them, ridiculing them, torturing them, and held their vision, held their faith. Oh my God, that's incredible. And I love the fact that we have saints from way back when to currently. And still, it's just that, like, let's move past the need to have them endure such awful hardship before we believe that they might know something. The frustration. But let it out. Sometimes you have to just, and then you feel better. Not at another person, but, just let it out. Like, when my son, I had to give him a hard truth when he was very little. His father and I had divorced. He was holding on to the hope that we would get back together. And I knew from my own experience that unrealistic hope in a child of parents who have gotten divorced is a very big disservice that you need to let go of in a healthy way. So I just frankly was like, that isn't going to happen. It isn't what's best for us. And I know that it frustrates you, and there's a lot to process there. So we went to the woods. I found a crumbling, fallen tree. And for the first time in his life, I let him curse and kick the ever-loving hell out of the tree. I was surprised at 4 that he could say what WTF so well with such great inflection. And I realized that that was something that he got from me. So, duly noted. But at the same time, like, it is sometimes you have to have that release. And instead of displacing it on someone else, feel your feelings, process them healthfully, and let it go. Another time in that period where I was divorcing my son's father, I was going through a lot of anger. I thought about getting a piñata and smashing it and having it be filled with red hots. And then when I smashed it open, all the red hots would fly out. But then the tightly wound part of me, it was just like, I don't want to clean that up. So instead, I got a 2x4, some nails, a hammer, and a mallet, and I went to town just nailing those nails to the board, and it felt good. I will say the mallet felt the best. So use this energy, use the frustration, take that anger, frustration, resentment, where it is that you want to charge into battle. Use that energy in a healthy way as fuel that is a catalyst to get you where you want to go through love. I've been getting this image of when rockets launch, they have, and I don't know all the words for these things, but it's just an image that channels through. So you see the rocket going up, then they have the fuel tank that's the catalyst that propels them, and it will drop away. That's a bit of what we're going through at the moment. Then from tarot, the map. Where are we? The world. We're at the end of one chapter, and we're moving forward into a new era, a new chapter, and there are infinite possibilities. We're in that vortex, we're in that void space, that creation space. So again, there's infinite possibilities. And the best thing you can do for yourself is to be in balance with your divine masculine and divine feminine, utilizing your softer side that connects intuitively, empathetically, in a nurturing way, and bringing it into how you act so that you have right action. So stop, breathe, go within. What is your heart, soul, and all of your intuitive, psychic, whatever you want to call them, senses? What are they saying to you? Then, with faith, go slowly and take steps in that direction. That's what will best protect you. That is what will best lead you where it is that you want to go. This also, to me, this circle with the red X's at the top and bottom illustrate like you within the oneness and you needing to integrate your higher consciousness with your material self. Oh, and another message that's coming through, like, yes, we go through life and our relationships are mirroring back a lot of times what it is that we need to be processing internally. I have in my life, there are situations where I'm like, okay, I'm done mirroring with this individual. It feels like I'm in a fun house. So enough of that. I only want to reflect and mirror my own energy and that which is coming into me that is high vibrational and helping me be my best, highly evolved self. It's a choice. Like, yes, if you're caught up in a dynamic with somebody that's uncomfortable and it feels like you're in that funhouse mirror sort of scenario, acknowledge it and then take a step back and see how you can change that. Page of Swords. Yes, this is illustrating perfectly what I just said. Page of Swords is you're learning new ways of thinking that will help you have more harmony and balance in your life. Yes, in tarot, we have the different suits. The swords are your mental body, the pentacles are your material working relationships, material plane interaction. The wands, it's that higher consciousness, that connection to the divine, your heart, your soul, your passion, your creativity. How I see the wand as it's you manifesting your dreams and wishes and what you want from the spiritual plane into the material plane. The cups are your emotional body, what you love, and how you can feed and nurture that. So again, when you know tarot, you realize that you see these different elements in each of the cards, because in order to have mental harmony and balance, you have to be grounded. Hence, they're on ground, wearing red shoes, denoting the fact that they're rooted and grounded in their steps that they're taking. You see the water in the background because, again, they're on good footing because they're also aware of their emotions and in balance with them as well. You see the clouds around them, the air. Air represents our mind as well and spirit. So you see them wearing yellow, being confident in their soul self. The purple of the tunic denotes higher consciousness as well, along with the blue of the sky, the divine. So it's again, it's mind, body, and spirit being able to work with your mind to heal it. Oh, and I see these birds, because again, we're transitioning with these clouds. We're going through alchemical change to get to some loftier perspectives, a bigger, broader view or vision of what's to come. Love it. And that's why I've been reading tarot since I was 15 and I'm 46 now. And the meanings, but each time you come to the card, something will pop out for the specific situation that you're dealing with to give that extra channeled information of what it is that the card wants to say. All right. this is leading to us being in that Queen of Wands energy. So sovereignty to me is realizing that you're an eternal soul, that you are an aspect of the divine, and instead of giving your power away, you take your rightful place on your own throne. Everyone has one. You're not above anyone. You're not below anyone. We are all here within the web of life in a beautifully harmonious, balanced way. So again, by focusing on you, your own journey, not comparing yourself to others, you get your little butt up on that throne. It is yours. Stake claim. Your abundance is yours. Call back your power, your abundance, and prosperity. That is your birthright. And therefore doesn't diminish anyone else around you because they have theirs. You see the cat in front of her, that is her being in loving relationship with her intuition, because that is what will get her power, her abundance, and she is intending to nurture that energy for her highest good, as well as the highest good of all involved. Sunflower abundance, yellow confidence. You see behind her the flag with the cross and the two lions. Again, it's that inner unification, integration, coming into wholeness. You are a spark off of the holy, divine fire of creation, so act like it. What does this bring you? I mean, isn't that some joyful energy? Feel it. Feel it for a moment before I go into the energy. You see celebration. You see three people, three individuals coming together, blending what they love together to create more abundance, more joy, more reason to celebrate. Out of the two begets the three. One way to look at this, when you connect with the divine, which you've been doing all along, you're just not acknowledging. When you do that, then things can pop off in new directions that are worth celebrating. But this can also speak to, on the material plane, people coming together, sharing a vision, and celebrating it in its development and the fact that it's being birthed. Then we have Five of Wands. Sure, there is some conflict, some struggle, some, I see in this, them having to look at each other, work together instead of being at odds, so that they can put it together for the highest good of all. So let's rise above the conflict, the us versus them mentality, to move more with this, move out of, oh, I did it wrong. Move out of this. Sorry, bear with me. This whole backwards thing is ridiculous. Anyway, move out of the conflict into harmony. Then you have to be patient as what it is that you're trying to grow has time to come to fruition. It's very hard to be patient when you want something. But again, you have to wait for the divine timing. You have to wait for things to develop so that it will be at its best for you to harvest. And this, people will say this is one of the happiest cards. Now, I don't prescribe to that thought process because I love all the cards. They all have their helpful, lovely energy. And if you work with it as opposed to being resistant and fearful, there's a beauty way through in it. Now, but this card, however, 4 of Wands. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 of Wands. I'm feeling the 4 of Wands though. Anyway, 3 of Wands. Again, it's that being patient and allowing your ship, your dreams, whatever it is that is coming to you, let it come. Be patient. Don't be impatient and perhaps move into something else and miss the opportunity because you weren't patient. Sometimes in manifestation, you have to get still so what it is that you are calling in can get to you. Sometimes you have to relax so that it can progress. But the 4 of Wands, which will be the progression, is that it will be that energy of balance and that portal that you're looking to. Let me hold on. I'm accessing how they're trying to say it. By being patient and awaiting your dreams and wishes, what it is that you're trying to manifest, it wants to manifest you equally. So if you take that pause, breathe, and sit in that faith and confidence, then it will build to that stability, that space through which you can create more balance, harmony, and a happy home, a happy environment for yourself. I was cutting the deck to see if I could find the 4 of Wands because I do sometimes like to do that. But instead, I saw the Empress, I saw the High Priestess, the 4 of Swords. That tells me that, really, it's really about nurturing yourself, your own power, gifts, really cultivating your environment alongside, like tending to your inner garden as much as your outward garden. High Priestess is, even when you don't see the way forward, you sit in balance between those white and black pillars, between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And when the information does come through, as a high priestess, you heed it and you work with it. 4 of Swords is that you have to be in that quiet, contemplative, restful state for it to reach you. So if you're caught up in the motions, running around like a chicken with your head cut off, it's going to be harder for it to reach you. Last card that I'll pull. King of Pentacles. Being a master of yourself within your material plane. Really learning to work with your inner abundance so that you can manifest it outwardly in the world. That's what we're working on here. But it's through equanimity, through love, compassion. The Aquarian age is all about a humanitarian, loving way to move forward with healthy boundaries, serving ourselves equally alongside the highest good of all involved. It's moving into relationships that are reciprocal as opposed to having some sort of imbalance. I hope you enjoyed this transmission. I appreciate your likes, your shares, your support. I am here on the earthly plane, wanting to connect with as many people across the globe as I can to help initiate, activate, empower through holistic, loving wellness. I love the time that we're in. As much as it's challenging, there are some amazing movements happening around us as well. I have worked with people from the psychological community and field, and the fact that they are starting to acknowledge, give the metaphysical, esoteric world credit for its merit and the fact that it exists, the fact that there are psychologists out there wanting to promote this fusion is amazing. The fact that science, metaphysics, psychology are all learning to come together in a respectful way and find where we can blend and fuse, to me, is absolutely spectacularly exciting and what I'm here to help facilitate and promote. I love science. Love it. I have been reading and studying psychology since middle school. So to me, whether we're doing a meditative journey, whether we're reading through cards together, having a conversation, delving into your psyche, it's all the same. It's all with the intention to help you process with love, release what you need to, empower yourself to be healed and fully actualized as the divine, amazing, beautiful creature that you are. Multifaceted, multidimensional, multi-talented. Best wishes. Healthy love. Be well holistically for yourself in the environment you're a beautiful part of. I'm here if you'd like to work with me, collaborate, what have you.